Hello everyone, this is RainingStar87, bringing you a new game as well as on a new mic. Yes, I have graduated from a headset microphone to something a little bit more complicated, is how I like to call it, but quality should be greatly increased as far as the microphone goes. Anyway, the new game that I'm playing today is Plague Incorporated, Evolved. And I have been in love with this game for a really long time. They made a version of it available on the iPad and iPhone, and it was a single-click game, and just really loved it. The premise of the game is to take over the world by evolving a pathogen. So for those of you who don't know, and I can't imagine why any of you would, the main job that my main job is to do research on pathogenic organisms. My specialty involves bacteriology, and I study a intestinal pathogen. Anyway, what I really like about this game is that it incorporates a lot of science into it. So it was really right up my alley. It's gaming plus science. I was just ecstatic. So let's go ahead and just do a playthrough real fast, and we'll see what you all think. So we'll start with the main game, and the main game's goal is to basically eradicate all humanity in the world. So, initially to start out, your only option is to have a bacteria, which is fine by me because I think bacteria is just the coolest thing ever. But as you continue to play the game and unlock, you can play as a virus, a fungus, a parasite, a prion, or a nanovirus, a bioweapon. Ooh, immune plague, that's new. Hidden plague, and a limited plague. Ooh, I'm gonna need to play this a lot to get those unlocked. Pardon my cough and voice. I believe I might be coming down with a cold. Hopefully not. But anyway, each one of these different classes has different attributes and abilities to it, and it makes for a really fun, unique game and a multiple playthrough type situation. So we'll continue with the bacteria. Also, as you progress through the game, you can unlock modifying genetic code materials, which give your pathogen increased abilities, giving you a better chance of taking over the world. And what's really cool about these is that these are actually scientifically relevant. AT boost, cytochrome surge, Darwinist, genetic mimic, base oxidation, tetracyte, aerocyte. I mean, it's just really cool for me, being the scientist that I am. I hope you all find it equally interesting. Probably not, but that's okay. I'm going to geek out for a little bit. But anyway, we'll play on normal difficulty for now because brutal and mega brutal are, well, I'd be killed almost instantly. And to give you all a good option of what this game looks like, I best play on normal for now. Maybe if you all want me to play a series on this game, we might go into the brutal and mega brutal and actually win this game. But let's see. We get to name the plague. So earlier I was doing a sample playthrough and called it Devestro. What we're gonna call it today is Staranium. Not really a pathogen name, kind of sounds more like an element, but I like it anyway. So, welcome to Plague Incorporated. You are a new bacteria. Sweet. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humans in the ultimate plague. Select your starting location. Select a country to begin your plague. When you click on it, you can see more information. Pop the start bubble to confirm, or click on another country instead. So, picking your starting country is really important in this game. You want something that's has a fairly large landmass, particularly with a bunch of surrounding countries, and you want something with an airport and a harbor. Airport and a harbor. Typically, I like to start in either India or Saudi Arabia. Today, we're going to start in India. And so, it also has a high population, so our infectious rate will go up. So, we'll click India to start with. Staranium has infected its first human. Mwahahaha. Weak and used to hot temperatures, it must evolve using DNA points to infect more people. So as the game progresses, and these little bubbles up here, you can pop them and get DNA points. As you acquire DNA points, you can then evolve your virus to do or bacteria to do a bunch of different things. As so. So this is to the general stats. We have the start date, which is today's date. It's a bacteria. Its starting country was India. Basic stats. What's really important is to take note of its infectivity, its severity, and its lethality. Initially, when you start, you want to get the infectivity up. And towards the end, though, you want to save enough DNA points to get the lethality up. Because if you can infect the whole entire world, that's great. But if you can't kill everyone, then the plague is pretty much useless and they will find a cure. That's another thing that you have to battle in this is the particular cure rate. So what can you spend your DNA points on? There's a wide variety. We'll start with transmission. So you can pick the kind of transmission that you're looking for. You have airborne, water, blood-to-blood contact, mosquito or arthropod transmission, carrier by rat, which is really good in urban populations, carrier by bird, which is a generalized good way to spread your pathogen, and then carrier by livestock, which is really good for the rural areas. And we'll get more into that as we are evolving this particular bacteria. Additionally, you have symptoms, which you basically start out with simple symptoms such as, I can't remember this one. This one is, nausea, coughing, rash, anemia, cysts, and insomnia. And then these will evolve out into majorly serious conditions. And then you have also abilities. The ability of the organism to survive in the cold, in the hot, as well as to resist drugs, as well as other things. And this will become more apparent as we start playing. But anyway, that's the basic explanation, so we'll get back to the game. And so initially we wait for us to get enough DNA points so we can start our first round of evolutions. And so we'll speed this up until we get to enough DNA points. Also, you'll get orange DNA bubbles to get additional points. And these are typically more random. They will pop up in a country after you infected, but anyway, it's just another way to get DNA points. So we're up to 4, 5. We'll wait just a little bit longer, and we should be able to get something. 8. Perfect. Okay, so let's go into transmission. And what we're looking for is we want something that's easily spreadable. And what I usually like to go with is the insect route. It's very effective in hot climates. And you also get a chance of mutation or the acquisition of genetic mutations, particularly in the symptoms category, that will make your bug more infectious. We also have bloodborne, which is good for infectivity, especially in poor regions, and increased mutation rate. So we'll actually go back to the main game and wait until we get 9 so I can get my arthropod infectivity. There we go. So this also happens randomly in the game. You will get news reports, and sometimes they're good. This one is bad. So we have a new cleaning technique that is now being used on to stop ships transmitting any disease between countries. Only advanced waterborne diseases can survive on them, which is problematic. Which means that the only way that we can get, it's in transmission. The only way that we can get our disease to spread from country to country via port or harbors is to evolve to stage 2 of water transmission. And that's really essential because, unfortunately, as it goes, Iceland, we'll slow this down for a little bit, but anyway, Iceland, this is Iceland, no, this is Greenland, my bad. This is Greenland, and the only way to infect Greenland is to get a infected ship to go from Iceland to Greenland. God, I hope that's Greenland. Anyway, let's see, we also have another one. Starranium is spreading from person to person in India and will grow exponentially. You control the plague indirectly by involving it. Thank you, computer. So we'll slow down for a little bit so I can get to evolving. So we talked earlier, I'm going to use my DNA points to evolve insect level 1. That should help in particularly hot climates, which India is considered a hot climate, both in reality and in this game. So that will help our infectivity rate. Our next goal is going to be nothing in the symptoms category, because you really want to hold off on symptoms, because the more symptoms that your plague acquires, the more likely they're going to start research, and you want to delay that as much as possible, because if research reaches 100%, game over. So we'll wait on abilities and try for the heat resistance one, which will cost us 11 DNA points. So let's see, you have spent DNA points and to evolve your bug. Congratulations, yay. Okay, we'll speed it back up till we get something else interesting. And now we wait, because like any good pathogen, it takes a while for it to spread and for the world to find it interesting. Let's see. A recent fluctuation in the Earth's magnetic field is claimed by scientists to be strong enough to be harnessed by New Zealand as a source of power. I don't think that has any effect on us. Sometimes what happens is they'll pop up news reports that kind of parallel what's going on in the world. It was a little creepy initially, but now that I get that they update those news stories quite frequently, it's kind of cool. But anyway, what were we waiting for? 13? Oh, okay, we should get it. Right. So now we will evolve to have heat resistance. And initially what we're going to do is just try to spread it throughout all of the world. To find out about a country, click on the country name at the bottom of the screen to open the country menu. Okay, so India. They are as business as usual. As your plague expands and threatens this country, they will switch to research and then potentially collapse if we get that far. But anyway, what we know about it is it's a moist and warm environment. I'm not really sure what the leaf means, so we'll have to figure that out later. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the research goals. So what you want to do is avoid research on your particular pathogen, because if they cure it, game over. And as you can see, there's no research going on our particular pathogen, so we're in good shape right now. So we're popping DNA bubbles. Starradium infects hundreds. Starradium has infected hundreds in India, increasing the chance that an infected person will infect a healthy person. Keep evolving your disease. Oh, don't you worry. We will. We will. So we'll speed it up until we get some more DNA points. At some point, this game will really speed up, and we will be clicking left and right, trying to fight off the researchers. London Olympics mystery. Mystery still surrounds the decision to postpone the London Olympics. Organizers promise it will happen soon, but no reason was given for the change. Interesting. Usually when these typical stories pop up, it's in relation to something that you've done in the game. But at this point, the disease is not really that infectious, and we're still limited to one country, so I can't imagine why they would have postponed the Olympics. Anyway. But yeah, conveniently, the Winter Olympic closing ceremony is tonight. I've been watching a bunch of the Olympics recently, and really have enjoyed it. I've been watching a lot of skiing. I myself am not very good with skiing, but it's a really cool sport, and I really admire all the people that can do all that athletic cool stuff. Let's see. Starradium has infected thousands in India. People are being infected faster and faster. Excellent. Let's see what we can do transmission-wise, or maybe abilities. No, we're good for right now. But what can we do to increase that transmission? Let's start with air. So it gives the pathogen the ability to travel in dust particles, increasing effectivity, especially in arid environments, and plane transmission. We definitely want the plane transmission, because that's a good way to get us our plague spreading. And so we wait, and as you can see, based on India right now. Well, you can't see it right now. Rash symptom mutated. Serenium has mutated and developed the rash symptom without using DNA points. Alright, this can be a double-edged sword. We now have the symptom without having spent the DNA points, but at the same time, if we develop too many symptoms and get on the world's radar, they'll cure us quickly, and we don't want that. But the rash symptom is fairly low, and that'll be good later on because there are some significant upgrades in the rash symptom area that will help us with the lethality later on. But anyway, so we're waiting. As you can see, as our infection level rises, another lovely message pops up before I can even point it out. Anyway, inside India, when we get off of this little bubble, you'll see red spots start to grow. And that will indicate that your plague is spreading. So that's a good thing. As it spreads, the whole entire map will turn red. And that's exactly what we want. China has been infected. Your disease has taken an important step in becoming a plague. When a new country is infected, pop the red bubble to get bonus points. Sweet, we have spread to China, which is good. Being able to spread across borders is a good sign. It means that we're going to start to spread across multiple borders, and given where India is placed, we'll get multiple countries. Heavy flooding in Botswana. Heavy flooding has occurred in Botswana. RMS analysts expect significant increase in disease due to crowded refugee camps. Interesting. Now, what that means is what we want to do is to increase infectivity. We want to spread in something that is in a large urban area. Basically, urban means large populations in the sense of this game, so the crowding will help with the infectivity rate. More infectious than TB. Starranium has infected more people in the world than tuberculosis. It is a very infectious disease. So we're spreading, what is this? Red infect bubbles appear when you infect a new country. Pop them to get bonus DNA points. Sweet, we like bonus. Starranium infecting more countries. Starranium is infecting more countries. Control where it goes by evolving transmission traits in the disease menu. Now I want to look at something with the rash. The skin becomes blistered. Oh, slightly increases infectivity. Okay. I was wondering because the infectivity rate seemed to have gone up considerably quicker than I anticipated, and that's because of the rash symptom. But anyway, Starranium has affected more people in the world than HIV. It is an extremely infectious disease. And you get little markers like that, and they're very accurate as far as the scientific community goes and as far as disease studies have gone. Okay, so we have plenty of DNA points, so let's see what we can do. If you didn't see, a airplane just flew to the United States, and in order to increase infectivity in that particular region, we need to have pathogen drug resistance to class 1 and 2 antibiotics, which increases effectiveness in wealthy countries. So Germany, the United States, and several other countries are considered wealthy countries, and you're not going to get any spread unless you get that drug resistance. And since we're already in the United States, we need that drug resistance to spread so we can get the rest of the Americas. Alright, what else do we got? Can we do anything? 24. Can we do anything with this? Alright, we want to be out of the symptoms category, but cold. That'll help us spread into Russia. Russia's really difficult to spread to if you don't have that cold resistance. So we'll go back. That was good spent. Now we'll click off India because it's mostly infected and get the world view. And as you can see by this bar across the bottom, as your infection rate goes up, the red bar continues to climb. And once you get the red bar all the way across, the whole entire world's infected, which is great. New rural livestock regulations. New rules for transport hygiene. Man, 2 of these in one game? It's like it's trying to make a fool of me. Okay, so this means that we will also, in order to get infectivity in rural areas, we'll have to evolve to stage 2 animal infection route, or livestock. So let's do 1 for now, because we really need to spread into Russia, and we'll spend the rest of our points on water transmission. Because again, we need to get those boats infecting. Upgrade lets ship be infected again. Good. The water transmission upgrade lets the Staranium survive the new cleaning techniques in the ships. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, because of that, we couldn't get effective spread. But now we should see some red ships start to show up. So we'll slow that down a little bit so I can get a better sense of what's going on. And when I do that, nothing really seems to happen. So let's try this medium speed. Maybe I can keep up with that a little better. We're spreading 4 DNA points. Okay, we've started to spread into Europe. That's good. World menu can... Okay. So this is the world menu that they're talking about. About 20% of the world's population is infected. As you can see from the world map, we have infections in the United States. We've started in Europe, started in Africa, Australia, which is good because these islands along here, again, the only way to spread to them is through through harbors, and so that'll be good. What we really need to try to get Iceland and Greenland infected, because if Greenland closes its port, then it's game over. There's no way that we can infect Greenland. So, alright, let's get back to the game. Pop some more DNA. Bubbles. Staranium has mutated and developed the nausea symptom. Alright, this is becoming a bit problematic. We might be evolving symptoms a little too quickly. But for right now, we'll keep it like that. You can also evolve these particular symptoms if they choose to be too problematic, but again, to put them back into place later on to increase the lethal nature of your plague requires so many more DNA points. So we want to try to spread infectivity as much as possible by keeping symptoms low without removing symptoms. And unfortunately, our disease has now been discovered, which is bad. It means they're going to start doing research on it, and if they cure it before we can infect and kill everybody, then we lose. Kind of a little bit of a morbid game, is it not? Alright, let's see. So we've got symptom. No, we want to stay out of that. I don't know why I want to keep going in there. We don't have too much. As research starts to develop, we'll need to evolve to genetic hardening 1 and 2, and those just help prevent research from being done. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. We'll go with water 2 for right now, and that'll help with the spread of it as well. Now, the game plan, when we get to most of the a high rate of infectivity, we will go ahead and take the rash symptom and evolve towards that, because that tends to increase the lethality fairly quickly. But let's see, what else do we got? We'll go back to the main world for a little bit. Alright, we're spreading quickly. Okay. And we're getting up there in recording time, so we're going to call it quits for right now. This is episode 1 of Plague. I'll go on ahead and record the second video for this. If there's any interest, please let me know. Like I said earlier, this is one of my favorite games, and I just wanted to share it all with you. This was RainingStar87. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Follow me on Twitter, and have a great week.